Off-Leash Area Contemporary Performance Works is an experimental theater company that produces all original pieces combining theater, dance, and movement. Each year they produce a piece out of their 2.5-car garage. A recent play, Maggie's Brain, about a woman with schizophrenia, was in fact mounted at the Playwrights Center. Access to Art recently attended a performance and afterwards interviewed the two co-artistic directors.
We're really interested in really deep emotional kinds of subject matter. And so this last show that we did, Maggie's Brain, dealing with schizophrenia, certainly goes into that realm. And we weren't interested in pursuing schizophrenia from an intellectual viewpoint of trying to discuss what it is and all the details of it, but the emotional place that it can go to.
So our company is called Off-Leash Area Contemporary Performance Works, a cross-disciplinary, movement-based dance and theater company.
We really took the time to find the right name, and it was one of those kind of hit you over the head moments. We went to the dog park with our dog one day, as we do many, many times, and just said, "Oh, that's it." And so,
the fact that we're off-leash means, again, that we can work in whatever style we want, as long as we're skilled at it and it's successful. And there's something, in a dog park, there's something playful and slightly dangerous about a dog park, You never know when two dogs meet, what in their nature will set them off or make them best friends. And, that's exciting. We try to do that in our work, too. I wanted to found a company that did what I hadn't done before. And so I put up notices at dance studios looking for dancers to work with, because dancers were very movement-based and extremely disciplined, usually, but they didn't do what I did in the theater world. So I hired Jennifer for this first show. And it was clear after like 2 weeks of working that we had a really special relationship in the studio, working together creatively. And people who had come to see a work in progress of that show immediately said, "So how many years have you been working together?" And it had been, months, a couple months. And I think from that point on, immediately, the company was Jennifer Isles and Paul Herwick. It was my company for 2 months. And then after that, it was our company. We've created about 12 original productions. We do 2 to 3 productions a year, one large-scale work like Maggie's Brain, which is a cast of 4, 5 to 12 with original music on a large stage for a 3-week run at a rented space. And then we've turned our 2.5-car garage into a small 40-seat black box theater called Our Garage. We have a raised stage and a lighting system and a makeshift lighting grid, and we have curtains, and we have 40 small folding chairs that we squeeze into the garage. And people absolutely love the work that we're doing. And they're so close to the performance that they really feel like they're on stage with us and they're part of what's happening. We did it kind of as a lark for something fun that would sort of liberate us from having to spend a lot of our own money on a large production, which we had been doing. I love to say that, in New York City, nobody has a garage. It's a very Midwestern thing to do.
Maggie's Brain was a show that came from me, especially because, of course, because my brother has paranoid schizophrenia. Whatever subject it is that we are working on, we really dig very, very deeply into it. By talking with so many different people involved, as people who have it themselves and people who work with it, to really come to an understanding that makes sense to me, so that I felt I could create something from that.
The characters who played the voices in Maggie's head, what we call the mind characters, were mostly dance performers, and the performers who played the family were mostly theater performers.
So we, at the beginning, just came with lots of information about where we were coming from, what this particular scene basically was going to be, and we would let them improvise and create the scenes quite substantially on their own and create their own characters.
Maggie.
We were told, be very careful that you don't fall into the trap that so many artistic entities, both individuals and organizations, fall into, which is to start creating work to get the funding. And it's very difficult to not do that because it's really hard work. And, we have 2 day jobs each. We imagine we'll always have at least one. We'd like to lose one eventually.
There are, those artists that do refuse to compromise, and that eventually, that by taking the long, hard road, they do eventually get funding and they do get support. But it's just the longer, harder road, and I think that's the one we've chosen.
This is a perfect piece to show up, is because Amy Rice is one of the artists that we've worked with
Wonderful
the most
artist.
over the last 4 years. I've worked with her before then as well, but Amy's been able to really take her work beyond being a street graffiti artist. She's grown into a really significant fine artist, and Amy now, through working with us over the 4 years and with other galleries, is now a nationally and internationally shown and recognized artist.
Wonderful stuff in juxtapose and everything. Only the graffiti on the street suffers for the progress of her career.
It's a great thing because we are able to, such as Amy, take artists who are unrecognized at the time of the early of their career, in the early stages of their career, and we've been able to be a real stepping stone for a lot of artists. There's artists that we work with that live with mental illness. We work with a lot of homeless artists. We work with really, really diverse communities, and I feel really proud that when it comes to the concept of equality for artists and humans and everything, I really think we've done a really great job on playing the equality card in an equal way.
And I have to say, so many people are now known around town who never would have been known. And let's look at the other side of the equation, which is simply what's next for you.
For me, after the gallery closes, which is March 10th, I'll be doing freelance curating work throughout the town. I'm going to be doing shows at various galleries, take vacant warehouses, do bigger shows, broader shows, show more artists nationally, locally, continue to do that. And I'll continue to run my mentorship program for artists with disabilities, which I've done for many, many years now. And a bunch of other projects which will start to arise.
I like that. As this place closes, you already have booked way too much for any human to handle. I salute you, I respect you, and we love you, and we'll miss you, and we'll see you really soon as well.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, Yuri.
Thank you.